The third way our faith is tried is when God gives you a certain instruction. For example, when God gives you an instruction to get rid of something you've been holding on to for so long. Here are three examples. One, let's assume you were sexually abused when you were 7 by a relative. You grew up and gave your life to Christ. You have a good relationship with God. You're affecting the lives of people around you positively. However, that experience left a wound in your heart which has not healed. And you have so much hatred in your heart for this individual. Now, God sees you are shining like a light in the society, but also sees a potential for that light to radiate brighter. So he tells you to do something which he knows will heal you of the hurt completely. This will be very difficult for you, seeing how it's a very sensitive subject for you. Another example, you love God and worship him. You do things that make him happy, but your self-esteem is tied, attached, married to how much you have and how expensive your cars and houses are. So God sees that this is a problem and tells you to sell everything you have and donate it to all the orphanages and blind people's homes in your country. Now, this will be very difficult for you. It is synonymous to the man who God told to sell all that he has and give it to the poor. But he went away because he had great possessions. It is synonymous to a ship which is in a storm and is on the verge of sinking. And the passengers have to throw their luggage into the sea to lighten it. If not, it will sink. They have two options. Let go of their precious possessions in the ship to save their lives, or hold on to it, and the ship, being so heavy, will sink and they will all die. Something similar happened in the book of Jonah, chapter 1, verse 4 and 5. Now, it is also synonymous to the story of a rat that entered a room through a hole and ate so much food in the room that it became very fat. Now, it was time for it to get out by passing through the hole, but it could not fit into the hole. So it got rid of all the fat by fasting and then became thin. In that state, it was able to pass through the hole. Another example of an instruction that God can give you, which will be very difficult to do. There's somebody you are close to who will take you away from your love for God. And God instructs you to cut off from that person. Now, this grieves you so much because you're already emotionally attached to the person. So it becomes a painful process. This experience is synonymous to pruning. John 15:2. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. If you look up the word purgeth in Greek, it also means to prune. Pruning. What is pruning? Pruning is the selective removal of parts of a plant, such as branches, buds, or roots, to improve its health, shape, and growth. When a branch produces fruit, the gardener can cut off a portion of that same branch. This will, 1, redirect the energy which should have been allocated to the now cut off part of that branch to the remaining parts of the branch, and consequentially leads to production of more fruits. Number 2, it will open up the canopy of the tree and give the remaining parts of that same branch access to sunlight and consequentially leads to the production of more fruits. Also, the weight of the fruit puts a pressure on the branch and pulls it down. When a branch is shortened, that's when you cut off a portion of it, it becomes sturdier and healthy enough to keep producing fruit instead of falling off. Like a branch that is pruned and becomes healthier and more productive, we, like gold, will become purer when God refines us by having us obey a certain instruction.